give them a very warm welcome.
Thanks. Hi everyone, I'm Muneeb, co-founder of Blockstack. Blockstack is a decentralized computing platform. We have an open source community of thousands of developers who are building not just the core protocols and infrastructure, but also decentralized apps on top. My co-founder and I, Ryan, we met at Princeton and raised venture capital back in 2014 to build out this ecosystem. We've been in the R&D phase until last year and working with some top research scientists solve some of the core computer science problems that you need for building out a next generation internet. If you look at the evolution of the internet, we had the good old days of the 90s where you had desktops and an open internet, and then cloud computing came. With Internet 2.0, companies like Facebook and Google started collecting all of your user data and became these centralized pieces of power on the infrastructure. And the reason why we are all here, the reason why we are so excited about crypto is the potential of this Internet 3.0, where users can take back the power from these big companies and have decentralized apps. A lot of you might think that we are still in the infrastructure phase of Internet 3.0. That's actually not true. Given the work that we have done over the last 4 years, we believe that we are actually coming out of the infrastructure phase and having real applications on top of the platform. If some of this talk about a new internet reminds you of the Silicon Valley show, especially the last season, we might have had something to do with that. We are technical advisors to the Silicon Valley show. With jokes aside, what is the difference between decentralized apps and centralized apps? Why are they better? So there are 3 things that I would like to focus on. The first is that there is no concept of a universal login on Internet 2.0. With the infrastructure that we provide, you can actually register your own username. That's yours. You own it with a private key, and you can use it with every single application. So if you want to use 100 different apps or websites, you don't have to create 100 different usernames and passwords there. That's number 1. Number 2 is decentralized data. And that's a really important point to understand. You are not storing data with any company anymore. You have your own private data store, and the apps are writing data with you. And this also decouples the apps from the underlying data, and you can actually just switch an app and it just works as an interface. And the last thing is crypto assets, which just simply weren't there in Internet 2.0. So last year at Consensus, we actually announced a browser for this decentralized web. And what we have noticed over the last year is now developers are building real applications. This is one of the examples. This app is called Graphite. It's an alternative to Google Docs. Recently, there was this Wired article on the app, and the interesting thing was the journalist actually used the app to write the article. So we are already seeing real usage of decentralized apps. Here's another one. It's called Stealthy. It's a fully decentralized, secure messaging app. And just like I said that you only need to create your username once, if you're signing up on Stealthy, you can just click and start using it because your profile and username is already there. One thing that I would like to emphasize on is that given the work that we have already done, these apps can scale to millions of users today. This is not fantasy world. This is not a research proposal. This is something that works today. And now I'm going to switch over to Ryan, who's going to tell you about the state of the app ecosystem.
Thank you, Muneeb. Hi, everyone. So, building off what Muneeb just spoke about, I want to talk to you about 2017, which was an incredible year for infrastructure investment and speculation. There were so many new people who were brought into the industry, so many people who saw how incredible cryptocurrency is. And we saw a meteoric rise in the price of cryptocurrency. But a lot of this was still hype and speculation. We saw a lot of projects raising funds on the promises of building the decentralized world. And a lot of that infrastructure has already been built, and a lot of teams are now building. But with this hype and this speculation, we need to still deliver on these promises in terms of widespread consumer adoption, in terms of real value that we're providing to the world, more than just the people in this room. And that has yet to really catch up. And so, if we think back to the mobile internet, we think back to what really made these devices in our pockets so valuable. It was the entryway. It was the things that allowed us to download the applications that we know and love. Think about iOS and Android. The app stores were the things that unlocked so much potential for our experiences on our phones. That was true mobile discovery. And it's very clear that we need that same experience for the decentralized economy, for the decentralized app ecosystem. But that still hasn't happened yet, because we see dApp islands. We see that there are many different protocols on which there are decentralized applications being built. There's Ethereum, there's IPFS, there's Blockstack, there's EOS, there's Steam, there's so many different platforms. But there's no cohesive experience, and there's no place where people can go to learn about decentralized apps and discover them and figure out what is exactly the application that's right for them. Because it's going to be different. There are so many different reasons why people are going to be using decentralized applications, and every single person is going to have a different application that speaks to them and brings them into the ecosystem. And we need something that speaks to real-world consumers. We need something that also inspires developers and shows them what exists out there and where there are holes. What we're talking about here is an app store for the decentralized internet. And with that, I would like to introduce to you the first truly universal app store for the decentralized internet. It's called app.co. And this app store, you can go to it right now. Go to app.co, and you can see decentralized applications across the entire industry. You will see them on Ethereum, on IPFS, on Blockstack, on Steam, on EOS, on so many other protocols. This is important because it's platform independent, because it speaks to the consumer about the value that can be driven to them independent of the underlying technology. And if you go there now, you will be able to see applications featured by category. For example, you can see the top social decentralized applications. And a lot of these are a lot further along than you might think. You have Steemit, you have Stealthy, you have Mastodon, and you have so many more. And more categories are going to be featured on this app store. Additionally, you can see the top applications ranked by their popularity. And a lot more information is coming soon. So if you're a decentralized application developer, we invite you to submit your application. You can actually submit your application here today. We want to list it. And if you're a platform, if you're working on a protocol on which decentralized applications are built, we want to talk to you, we want to collaborate, and figure out how we can best feature your decentralized applications. And with that, I want to close with one final note. And that is in two parts. First, we're here to build the decentralized future. We're here to bring real value to billions of users. And the only way that we're really going to do that, the only way that we're going to expand beyond the status quo is if we all work together. And that's extremely important. And the second thing is, we need to grow beyond the hype and the speculation that has existed for so long in the industry. We need to deliver on the promises of yesterday. Let's bring real value to people outside of this room, people all around the world. Let's build a decentralized future together. Thank you so much.